Okay, we're back. We're doing Draft League. And this is kind of probably going to be the most scuffed team introduction plus week one team builder that I've ever done. But to be 1,000,000,000% honest with you guys, I have a sinus infection and I have a double ear infection and I'm just absolutely miserable. I don't know if you guys can see how red my eyes are, but I also started a new job, which was great, so I could be able to actually do things I enjoy again, which is why I'm back and doing Draft League. My team is the team on the left. I didn't do a draft analysis because I think draft analysis videos don't really do much of anything in general. They're not that important anymore. They used to be very important, but now I just think that they're kind of meh. So let's go over what I drafted, why I drafted it very briefly. Gouging Fire, I wanted a Dragon Dance Sweeper. I wanted something that could just break through teams and force a ton of prep, whether that's in a designated wall designed to help it out. I wanted a really good bulky core with hazards, so I went with Gliscor because Gliscor just doesn't die to any one hit, which is insane to think about. Even ice moves just bounce off of it sometimes. Also being able to toxic stall and pivot out is really important, but spikes are even more important along with pivoting, which is why I went with Hisuian Samurott. I wanted spikes. That was like really important to me, but also being able to get them up without being passive. So not being able to be stopped by taunt is super important to me. So I wanted to go with a more offensive late rounds, and I went with Florges, and Florges is one of my Terra captains as well, which can be very offensive because I think it has like 120 or something special attack. God, my allergies and my head's killing me. Okay, we're almost done though. Florges I wanted primarily because of Wish Pass. I think Wish Pass is broken, especially whenever you have something like Gouging Fire that like you can deal with it once, you might not be able to deal with it twice. And being able to healing wish it back up or just regular wish it is super important. I needed a rapid spinner and all the ones I wanted were gone, so I went with Cyclozar. Having double dragon isn't that big of a deal, especially considering the fact that one of my dragons isn't weak to ice, so it's whatever. But it also gives me access to knockoff, U-turn, regenerator, like a bunch of utility options, and ultimately it's one of the better spinners in the game currently, outside of like Iron Treads. And what's the other Dawn fan thing name? Can't even think of it. Great Tusk. That's that thing's name. But I just think it's really good. And then I wanted just like a straight up breaker, something that could just hardcore destroy everything. So I went with Terra Lucario. Terra Lucario in combination with Gouging Fire is actually really good because this thing forces in bulky psychics, and bulky psychics usually can't stop Gouging Fire from being able to set up and sweep. So being able to just force that in is really nice, or being able to just break something really easily. And then I also went with my last Terra captain of Rotom. I needed a spin blocker, but I also needed an electric type, and Rotom is actually really good at doing everything. It doesn't hardcore wall things like Great Tusk and Iron Treads and things like that, but it does wall them to an extent, and having Wish Pass with it means I can wall them pretty well, and I'm able to keep up my spikes, my stealth rocks, my toxic spikes, things like that, which are super important. I also wanted a pretty fast pivoter that could scare out bulky waters. So like, as you can see, I took Iron Bundle in round 9, and I was kind of planning on Iron Bundle for a while because I saw in like round 6 it was still there. I was like, okay, I want something that can just forever pivot on each other. So realistically, Iron Bundle comes in, it forces in either a bulky steel type to take the ice move or a bulky water type to take the water move. I can flip turn on it, and if they go into the steel type, I have my setup. If they go into the water type, I have my my little guy here, my Ogerpon, and I can just kind of sort of get them trapped in a little bit of a vortex. That was kind of the mindset with those last 3. These bottom 3, pretty much all meme picks. I wanted a ground and poison, and I can get up T-spikes pretty easily with this thing. This thing gives me webs. This was just a Pokemon because I think it's cute. That's pretty much the whole team. But as for the week 1 matchup, I'm going up against Don Fanatic, Jack, and he has a very scary team. Essentially, I'm expecting the top 3 Jirachi, Volcanion, and Torn. Those are like the big ones that I'm most scared of, because this can kind of, the Torn can kind of stop all the setup that I want. This I just don't have switch-ins to. In general, I just don't have switch-ins to, especially if it's like Terra Water Choice Specs. Don't really have a switch-in. Weavile, I also do not have much of a switch-in to. I had to get a little creative with it. But these three are scary, but I'm not super scared of them. Like, I'm a little scared. Not overly, but it's just, it is what it is. If he's super setup Jirachi, it's scary, but I did a ton of prep against setup Jirachi because I'm not, years and years and years ago. By the way, this was almost 10 plus years ago that I did Draft League and PPL. I got swept 2 weeks in a row, 6-0 to Calm Mind bulky setup waters. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not. It's been something that has traumatized me for nearly 10 years. Thank you, Mono Tui and Troy. Sorry, that was dramatic. However, I will say I did do a bunch of prep versus a lot of things. I did a handful of mocks. Let's go ahead and look at the team we've got. I wanted to start off with my Gouging Fire. I went with a Moringa Berry because anytime I get hit with a special move, I will immediately get a +1 in Spadef. So if you look at his team, there's a bunch of things I can set up on. For example, this I can set up on, this I can set up on, this I can set up on, and this I can't really set up on because if he knocks me off before going for something like a Hurricane, that is como se dice bad. So I can kind of sort of deal with it a little bit, but I really want to set up on either this, I can even set up on Shaman, to be honest with you, or I can't really set up on this because of Clear Smog, but like these are my three main setup targets. But I have enough speed at +2 to be able to outspeed everything on the entire team, including some Scarfers, and then at +1 I have enough speed to outspeed a speed creeping Torn, I believe is what I went for. And then the Spadef means that a Terra Starstorm from a non-boosted or non-specs Terapagos never does more than 33%. So I'm able to just essentially set up on Terapagos forever. And a Choice Specs Terra Water at +1 does just under 50%. So I'm able to set up once, set up twice, and then go for a Dragon Claw on the Volcanion, which means that once I have the spikes up, if it's not heavy duty boots, it doesn't do any damage to me at all. And if it is choice specs, then it's taking spikes, and then I'm able to kill it with Dragon Claw, especially if it's like early game and I'm able to get a little bit of chip. So big win con, can in theory just sweep the whole team. Next I have Ogerpon. I don't like the way this is looking. It's whatever. Ogerpon is there just in general to be an annoyance and a pivot mon. Encore is there specifically for the Jirachi. It is also there for the Annihilate is that Pokemon's name. I'm able to just Encore it into bulk up, and hopefully I'm going to get a Toxic off on it, which you'll see in here in just a second. But being able to Ivy Cudgel and just switch around is really, really good. He only has one really good switch into this, and that is going to be Pheasantipity, which I don't really expect to come. So if I'm able to Ivy Cudgel, Stomping Tantrum, U-turn, and just Encore the whole team, I'll be pretty happy. Next up, we have Gliscor. This is a fairly speedy Gliscor. It is intended to outspeed pretty much a mildly speed invested Annihilate. I'm able to Toxic it, I can taunt it, and then I can just Toxic stall it down. Cannot touch me unless it has unless it bulks up, gets off an Ice Punch. Whenever I don't protect and then I misclick and don't protect again, I can just beat that thing 1v1, and then I have enough on my team to be able to just kind of deal with everything else. Next up, we have Physically Defensive, Rocky Helmet, Hisuian Samurott. This is my Weavile answer. Smile. Not a very good Weavile answer, by the way, because if he goes for 2 low kicks, it does a ton of damage, but this is going to be my designated lead in case he is Focus Sash, Swords Dance, Sneasel, or Weavile, I'm sorry. He can just go to town on turn 1. So if I'm able to Sacred Sword it or Ceaseless Edge it, and then he goes for like a low kick or something like that, it won't kill me at +2, and then I can get up a spike, or I can just kill it with Sacred Sword. I also have Taunt and Encore for the Jirachi, as well as the, what's that Pokemon called? Annihilate. I keep forgetting it. As well as the, what's the other Pokemon called that I'm thinking of? Jirachi, Annihilate, and the Terapagos. So another small thing to keep in mind with this is also going to be one of my designated switch-ins to Terapagos if it's late in the game, because if I'm expecting him to try to spin versus me, I want to break the Terra Shell. So I'm just going to go into this, break the Terra Shell with it, and then if he goes for Terra Starstorm afterwards, I can just go into my my Gouging Fire, set up, win. So that's kind of how I plan on playing this. Next up is my Volcanion check. My Volcanion check is not good, especially if it's like Choice Specs Terra Fairy. Very, very scary. But Rapid Spin Knockoff, U-Turn Dragon Tail. This is also in case I taunt with my Gliscor on something like the Jirachi. I can come into this and I can just Dragon Tail it out, unless it's last mon, and then I have to be a little bit more careful about how I play the rest of the game. But Super Spadef, I needed it to be able to live 2 Choice Specs Terra Water Steam Eruptions. That's about it. Next up is the Lucario set that kind of went back and forth so much. So at first I was Life Orb Terra Stellar, and I switched it 2 nights before the game happened, because what I wanted is I wanted this to come in and just force a ton of pressure, especially if I'm able to get a U-turn off with my Cyclizar or my Ogerpon, and I'm able to drop this thing in on something like the Fezandipity. I can just Terra up. The other thing that I really wanted is I wanted to have a check to Choice Scarf Thunderwave Jirachi. With Inner Focus, I never flinch. With Terra Steel, I resist the 2 flinch moves, and with Lumberry, I avoid the Thunderwave. So even if I bring this in on Jirachi, they go for Iron Head, I can SD up, and then I can start breaking literally everything at +2. This still does like 50% to Terapagos, even with Terra Shell up. So it's still a very, very, very hard hitting Pokemon. And if there's a possibility that if I get up to +2, I could just win the whole game. It's very, 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 very strong into my opponent, and I think it's a phenomenal set. But that is going to be the team. Let's go ahead and hop over to the battle. Okay, so he doesn't bring Annihilate, which is interesting. He brings Shaman instead. Is that bad? I mean, a little bit, but like, seeing Weavile is good. Not seeing Torn is really good, but seeing Shaman is interesting. Either way, I have my lead set up. He's also Terra Water on Volcanion, which immediately screams Choice Specs, which is very difficult for my team to switch into. Very, very difficult for my team to switch into. But at the same time, I could be okay, because my Cyclizar does take 2 Steam Eruptions from full, even after Stealth Rocks. Canyon D's. Okay, so my Samurott does live 1, and I can get up a spike here and get off the chip damage that I need. If it goes for like body press, I can tank that pretty easily. Worst case scenario, he burns me. I'm gonna go ahead and just go for the Ceaseless Edge. That's good damage. I get the crit, which is less than ideal for my opponent for sure, but he doesn't Terra, which is good. So let's see what he goes for. Steam Eruption, 58 to 64, less than that. So he's not even specs. I'm gonna go right into this. I got my spike up, which is all I really cared about. So that way it forces the spin. I assume this is going to be Fezandipity. Shaman. Okay. I'm actually okay with this, because I can go ahead and knock off the item and then U-turn. Because Shaman Dazzling Gleam, like, bounces off of me. does like, it does less than 33%. And getting rid of items is always good. He's very bulky. He was Rocky Helmet. Okay. That's good to get rid of. Leech Seed, totally fine. If you protect, I don't care. He's very bulky. Knockoff didn't do anything, so I think he's like fully Fizz Death. So I'm just going to go for the U-turn. If he goes for Dazzling Gleam here, that's fine. I will get a little bit more chip, like around 25-ish%, hopefully. And then, what do I go into is the question. I could go into Ogerpon. Just gonna hard switch. Into Annihilate. This is okay. This is okay. Because my Gliscor deals with this thing pretty much indefinitely. What's this Pokemon called? Annihilate. So it's currently at 100 base power, which does 28 to 33. I want to prevent bulk ups, but I also want to toxic this thing. So I'm going to go for toxic first. He is faster than me, which is a little bit less than ideal, but I get the toxic off. Just don't be Lum. +1, no attack, Ice Punch has a chance to kill me. So part of me wants to protect. I'm just going to taunt him to prevent the rest if he wants to keep going for it. Okay, so now he's at +2. Rage Fist is doing 56 to 66. I'm going to protect to scout for the Ice Punch. Because I think I can deal with this. Let's see if he goes for Ice Punch. He doesn't. He just goes for Rage Fist, which is perfect. Which is perfect. So we'll take a little bit more chip. Now he is at +2 defense. So Ivy Cudgel is doing quite a bit. Let's see here. How can I do this properly? I think what I have to do is I have to go into my Hisuian Samurott on the Rage Fist, take 33%. He'll take Rocky Helmet plus Toxic. Ooh, he's going to switch out. Okay, that's perfect. Crisis has been averted. Okay. I don't want to take a grass move, so I think I have to go into my Ogerpon here. Because then Ogerpon can go for a U-turn, do a little bit more chip. Man, imagine if I'd like thrown off a Toxic or something. That would have been so good. Seed Flare, not a big deal. Doesn't do a whole lot. Get lefties. He didn't get the Spadef drop, which is good. So now I can just go for a U-turn. I'll do 36 to 42 if he's max HP, but like I said, I have a feeling he's fully Fizz Death. He's going to withdraw. Skippity Riz. Oh my god. I cannot believe he actually named something this. Okay. So now I go into this. And so here's the part that I think is going to get a little bit interesting. I do not want him to rest with his, oh, that's Black Sludge. That's also good to know. I do not want him to rest with his Annihilate. So I think I'm going to click Taunt to prevent Annihilate from just hardcore switching in. He knows he outspeeds me, so he can get a rest off. And he's shown Bulk Up, Rage Fist. I assume it's Rest. I do outspeed this thing, so that's really, really bad. And he does just right go for the U-turn. That's not good. That's not good. However, oh, okay, he didn't go into Annihilate. That's good. So now, unfortunately, this thing does do a number on me. Triple Axle guaranteed kills, but I don't want him to set up an SD. He could just be banded. I think he's just banded. Because he took spikes damage. Crash. Okay. Oof. He gets a crit. That's less than ideal. I'm going to go for another edge, I think. Or do I just go for... Yeah, because if Annihilate comes out... Edge, spikes, plus that will take it out. And if he... Okay, I think what I have to do here is I have to go for Ceaseless Edge. I don't think he's going to want to risk the miss, but I do get up another spike, which is huge. Huge, 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 huge. Okay. 2 spikes up. This thing could be defog. This thing could be defog. He goes right for the U-turn. Didn't think he would do that. I think Pheasantipity gets default. Okay. Keep taking the spikes damage. Okay. I'm gonna see what he locks into. Actually, no. Do I want to do that? He could just be adamant. This thing is really good as a Pheasantipity switch in, but I kind of just need to go into this, unfortunately, and hope that he misses an Icicle Crash, maybe. doesn't miss. Okay. I'm still gonna go for edge. Never misses. Couldn't be me. However, I do think this is a good opportunity to set up with my Lucario. Because if he's Jolly Choice Band Icicle Crash, it does 55% to me. And that's assuming he switches out. So we will Terra. And we will... Do I just go straight for the Meteor Mash? No, I'm going to set up an SD. Because if the Shaman comes in, if he's max HP, Terra Steel Meteor Mash does 62 to 73. It's definitely in range, so I just need to land Meteor Mashes, essentially. When I say that is so much less than ideal, it's not even funny. So much less than ideal. I would have a full health Lucario at +2 right now. If he goes into Volcanion... Okay. Galapagos. Level 100... With Terra Shell, Meteor Mash is doing 50. I have to click close combat here. I do not want to miss, but I need to get this thing's shell broken. And this is also my best setup opportunity. Yep, Terra Shell. That's fine. Amazing damage. Absolutely amazing damage. Let's see if he goes for like a rapid spin. Yeah, that's fine. Because now what I can do is I can go for E-Speed. It's a roll depending on his investment. He gets the roll. That's unfortunate. But he didn't set up. He just got the spin off, which is good. Because now what I can do is I can go to my Gouging Fire. Terra Starstorm does 30% max. And I can set up, and this thing should win. Well, Dragon Dance, hit me. Please, hit me. Yep, sweet. That did a little bit more. But I get the +1. Okay, so my +1, +1, +1. Versus Terra Water Volcanion. I live a Steam Eruption from here. Not well, but I do live it. So I think I go for a second one and hope he hits me again. and then I morning sun up. Okay, he does hit me again, which is good. Which is very, very good. And we know we outspeed him. Roar is very bad. I should have just killed this thing. Roar is very, 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 very bad. Oh, that's less than ideal. That is so much less than ideal. I should have just killed him. It is okay, though. It is still okay. I'm just going to go hard into my Cyclizar and try to get a little bit of momentum back. Did not expect Roar. I mean, I guess I can just click knock off. It goes for toxic. Okay. And all my spikes are gone, which is less than ideal. I should have just killed this thing, man. So now this thing comes in at good health, and I don't have a reliable way to kill it. Very, very less than ideal, to say the least. I'm just gonna go for U-turn and hope he misses Icicle Crash. I missed a Meteor Mash. Nope. Of course not. Unfortunately, I have to go into my Gouging Fire, and I have to just click Heat Crash. I got greedy. Shouldn't have gotten greedy. I should have clicked Dragon Claw, not Heat Crash. But, whatever. If he goes... I mean, there's still a chance. Right? Like, he can miss an Icicle Crash on my Ogre Pawn. But... I'm hoping what he does here is he goes into Volcanion. Yep. This Heat Crash is going to bounce off Volcanion. But... Terra Water Steam Eruption does not KO me. It does 64%. It kind of does. I kind of have to Morning Sun up. Hope I'm faster? Question mark? Because if he's modest, I'm faster. And then I can scout damage. And then... he does go Terra Water, which is good. I do get the heal off. Okay. So I have to... I essentially have to hope for a miss on... I essentially have to hope for a miss with Ice Skull Crash. Roar on Terapagos I did not expect at all. But we cudgel. Tantrum. Did literally nothing. So fun fact. Ice Shard from Weavile doesn't kill me. I guess Bandit does. Man, that was so close. If I had just killed that thing. Yeah, I misplayed really hard with that. Because now he just shards, yeah. Yeah. If I had just killed that, and then he would have gone into Volcanion, I would have lived because of the Moringa Berry, and I would have just swept. I misplayed so hard. I misplayed that so hard, but, you know, it is what it is. Also, taking that much extra damage on my Lucario was so much less than ideal, because even at -1 SPDF, does this just kill me? No, that's funny. So at -1 SPDF, Terra Starstorm only does 43 to 51. So I would have still had my Lucario around. That would have forced some more play around. I'm not going to be able to win this, so I'm not going to click Protect. Super unfortunate. Ultimately, I definitely don't think I deserved to win that one. However, the only misplay that I can really think about that I did was not just killing the Terapagos, because at +1/+1, let's just look at like the damage calcs that would have happened. So Terapagos would have been dead. Volcanion was at about 60-ish%. And the Terra Water Steam Eruption wouldn't have killed me because I was at +1 SPDF. Because we saw how much damage it did like after the Morning Sun, and it did about 65-ish%. At +1, it would have done about 40-ish. So I would have killed that. I could have also just Morning Sunned up on it until I got to a good amount of health to live the Ice Shard. Then I could have eventually gotten a second DD Outsped Weavile guaranteed. Yeah, super unfortunate misplay on my end. And the Meteor match also definitely sucked, but that was a phenomenal game. It was a phenomenal game as a welcome back, but I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please make sure you leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.